Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. For my first video, me and my friend Aaralyn are going to show you guys the reference sheets we made for our OCs for our first year participating in Artfight.
Hi, I'm Aaralyn. I have 6 characters on my Artfight profile, but I might add one more after this video is uploaded since I'm currently working on them. You can follow me on Instagram at flyingbattery7135 and my Artfight profile is Flying Batteries. Yes, my username is named after a flying battery zone from Sonic and Knuckles because it's my favorite zone, and I have an unhealthy obsession with Sonic.
And I personally added 5 OCs to my Artfight profile. My username is its.lezzi, and my username on Instagram is also its.lezzi, but with a dot and a underscore. So here is my first OC. This is Rain. He's a fandom OC from the movie Across the Spider-Verse. He's my little baby, my favorite OC, and I cherish him way more than any other of my OCs. I'm sorry. So Rain is my spider sona, and if you don't know what it is, basically it's your sona or your self-insert or yourself, but as Spider-Man. Rain is not me, we have completely different lives, but he is very inspired from myself and my personality and some of my experiences. So Rain is Spider-Man in his universe, Earth 36-117, after he got bit by a radioactive spider in middle school, which gave him powers. Since there are other superheroes in his world, this isn't a one-of-a-kind thing. Rain lost his girlfriend Gwen shortly after gaining his powers. He fell into depression and spent his high school years completely alone. His grades dropped and he failed his final exams, so he had to redo his last year, and that is during this year that he got recruited into Spider Society. He met Hobie there and was too anxious to talk to him, so Hobie made the first move. They became close very quickly until Gwen in the movie entered Spider Society too, and Hobie became friends with her as well. This made Rain feel very bad about himself, about the Gwen he lost, about his friendship with Hobie too. He then rarely came to Spider Society, his safe place, anymore. Hobie didn't understand why Rain barely talked to him now, so he went to Rain's universe to talk. After insisting a little, Rain finally told him the way he felt about Gwen and what happened to the Gwen in his universe, and also confessed his feelings for Hobie too. And since Hobie likes him back, they started dating, and I love them dearly. I think I yapped enough now, but if you want extra details on Rain, you can check out his profile on Artfight. Anyways, as you may have seen, I'm drawing Rain in a turnaround. I drew him in his spider suit, in casual clothes and naked. Please don't stare at him, he's shy. After the turnaround, I thought it might be smart to make a close-up of his face so people with more detailed or realistic styles can draw his facial features accurately. So I made one front and one profile of his bare face and with his mask and suit on. I hope you like my baby as much as I do now.
My first OC is also my spider sona. Her name is Rosetta Dupont, but me and Clement just call her Rose most of the time. For all of my OCs, I have 7 sections labeled as introduction, personality, likes, dislikes, relationships, lore, and abilities on their Artfight profiles. The abilities section is only for my OCs that have powers like Rose, Juno, and Zamira. Rose is heavily inspired off of myself, but she is not me. Rose is 16 years old and in her junior year of high school at Visions Academy, Las Vegas. She was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. Rose is a soprano in her school's advanced choir and competes in roller derby. She is in a Riot Girl band called Decrepit Virgins with her two best friends, Gwen and MJ. Rose's universe, Earth 7135, is set in November 2024 to present day. Earth 7135 is my own universe and not canon to Marvel. Rose has a strong sense of justice. She is honest, opinionated, and will stand up for anyone, not just herself and her friends. However, this quality can cause her to become reckless and impulsive in the heat of the moment, which may lead to more harm than good. Rose may appear aloof and hot-headed, but once you get to know her, she is one of the most sweetest and outgoing person you'll ever meet. I'm going to leave out her interests, dislikes, and her relationships for the sake of the video because I'm already yapping way too much about her, so you can check that out on her profile on Artfight. For Rose's lore, she grew up as an only child in an emotionally unavailable / abusive, as well as a financially unstable household. When she turned 5, her parents divorced and were given split custody over her. Ever since then, Rose has been spending every other week with the respective parent. Rose prefers to stay at her mom's house and dreads having to go back to her dad's once her mom's week is over. Rose is atheist and has religious trauma from her dad. Her dad has always pushed his beliefs onto her, and it became especially bad when she came out as lesbian. She felt ashamed of herself and confided in her mother. Rose has always been and always will be a mama's girl. Her mom taught her not to care about what others think and to be herself always. Around the 5th grade, Rose went on a field trip to the roller skating rink where she discovered that she loved roller skating. In middle school, she began competing in roller derby tournaments and is one of the best and most skilled players on her team. It was something that distracted her from her home life and kept her busy. In middle school, Rose developed extreme social anxiety due to the dramatic switch from elementary to middle school being quite overwhelming. She worried that people would think she was dumb and would make fun of her. It became so bad that Rose began to avoid going to school and would rather stay home doing nothing all day. This caused her relationship with her dad to become even more strained. Thankfully, her mother noticed the decline in her mental health and was able to get her a diagnosis and prescription. Near the end of Rose's freshman year of high school, during a lab in her biology class, a genetically modified spider escaped its containment unnoticed. The spider found its way to Rose, crawled onto her ankle, and bit her. Rose didn't notice the bite in the moment, but later on in the day, Rose began to feel extremely sick. Rose's mom pulled her out of school, and Rose stayed homesick for the next week or so. During that week, Rose discovered that she got spider powers from the bite. With Rose's newfound powers, she began to fight crime in the streets of Las Vegas. Unfortunately, with these powers, Rose gained an entirely new stress unrelated to school and her relationships. Now she's responsible for the countless lives of civilians. And on top of that, the political climate causes even more mental instability for her. Rose has been doing well mentally for a while until she gained her powers and it took a swan dive. Rose remains headstrong and pushes through her adversities. She has not told anyone of her secret identity, as to not worry those close to her. Rose's early designs were modeled after a spiny back orb weaver, so obviously I had to make that the spider that bit her. Typically, spiny-backed orb weavers are unable to penetrate human skin. When they do bite, it only causes mild discomfort and local swelling. In Rose's case, this spiny-backed orb weaver was genetically modified, causing the bite to be much worse and giving her superhuman abilities. The abilities Rose received include sticking to walls, shooting webs from wrists, stridulation, increased strength, and spidey sense. While swinging from building to building, Rose tends to skate on sides of buildings to build up momentum and propelling herself forward. This allows her to get around more efficiently, as if swinging around normally wasn't already pretty fast. Rose also uses stridulation while in combat. Stridulation is the production of sound by rubbing body parts together. This behavior is associated with insects like crickets, spiders, and snakes. Some species of spiny-back orb weavers use stridulation as a defense mechanism. For Rose's reference sheet that I traced myself for, I drew her from 3 different angles, and I drew 2 thumbnails of her. I also included references of the stickers on her helmet. I provided basic information about her, like her age, birthday, height, pronouns, sexuality, nationality, and ethnicity. I put color swatches off to the side and a "Hello, my name is" name tag to match the Spider-Verse movies. Lastly, I put a cool paper background. I did this for all my references, and that's Rose.
Now for my second OC, I made MJ. MJ is a character in Rain's universe. She's a classmate of Rain during his last year of high school, the one he had to redo. MJ is an extroverted girl, so she became friends with Rain, especially since he was always alone. She even started to have a little crush on him, but unfortunately for her, Rain met a Hobie and fell in love for him instead of MJ. Because canon event, all that shit. You know if you watched the movie. And watch the movie if you didn't already. A little bit about MJ. She's a gym girly. She loves working out and having muscles, even if I wasn't able to draw her as such. Oopsies. She likes flowers and she likes cute things. And she's a big fan of Spider-Man, who is secretly Rain, wink wink. She also loves to hang out with her friends, and she's the oldest of her family and has 4 younger siblings. For her reference sheet, I didn't want to draw her in a turnaround, so I made her 3 outfits to show her style a little bit. She likes cute feminine clothes. Her favorite color is red, but she has many colorful clothes in her closet. After that, I drew her face, front and profile, just like for Rain.
My second OC is Cece O'Keefe, who's somewhat of Rose's partner. Cece was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada as well. They're in both band and orchestra at Visions Academy. They played the clarinet for band and the cello for orchestra. They are employed at a Forever 21 in their local mall too. Cece is an altruistic, flirtatious, forgiving, and irrational individual. Cece prefers to hang out with a small group of friends and keeps to themselves despite having a rather flamboyant appearance. This appearance gives the impression that they'd know a lot of people, but they don't. This doesn't mean that they're not fun to be around. Cece is sassy, outgoing, and loud with close friends. For Cece's lore, SA will be mentioned, so feel free to skip ahead. Throughout Cece's freshman and sophomore years of high school, they were in an extremely toxic relationship with their ex-boyfriend. Their boyfriend emotionally manipulated and gaslit them into staying in their relationship. He even went as far to SA Cece and tell them that it was love to keep them trapped. A while after Cece finally got out of the relationship, with the help of MJ, Gwen, and Rose, they began to fancy Rose. Due to their trauma, they are unwilling to commit to a relationship, afraid that something like their previous one would happen again. For Cece's reference sheet, I did the same thing I did for Rose's. I took the template I drew for Rose and used it for Cece, except I made them a little shorter and I slightly changed the body type. For the background, I chose lined paper instead of the crumpled paper I chose for Rose. And that's Cece.
My third OC is Black Cat, who is in the same universe as Rain. I promise, guys, it's the last one. After that one, it's not Spider-Man anymore. So Black Cat, or from his real name Chioma, was born in Nigeria and migrated to France at 5 years old with his mother and sister. Also, yes, Rain and MJ were born in France, Paris more specifically. I forgot to mention it earlier. Anyways, Chioma grew up in a smaller city next to Paris, never really cared about school, but still went to university because he had no idea what to do. But at night, Chioma becomes Black Cat and steals from the rich to get some money, but also to have fun in his boring life. Black Cat met Rain because Rain wanted to catch him at first, but they actually started to be friends, and Black Cat became an older brother figure to Rain. Chioma likes to party and have fun. He's introverted, but like in a mysterious way, not in a shy way. See? His favorite color is black, and his closet is like one of those that is full of only black clothes. He does have a few brown and beige pieces of clothing, but colorful ones are very rare. Just like MJ, I drew him with 3 different outfits. The one in the middle is his Black Cat suit, and the ones on the sides are the casual ones. On the left, it's an outfit he would wear to go to the club and party. On the right, it would be to go out with friends or go to university, for example. And I also drew the face again. I love him, he's so hot.
My third OC is Marjorie Jane, or just MJ. MJ was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. She's a junior at Visions Academy, and she's in band class with Cece and in advanced choir with Rose. She plays the bassoon in band and is an alto in choir. MJ is on a roller derby team that is the rival team to Rose's. MJ is in a speech and debate club and is also in theater with Gwen. She is the bassist of her, Gwen's, and Rose's Riot Girl band called Decrepit Virgins. MJ is employed at Boys and Girls Club, meaning that she is good at taking care of and helping children. MJ is patient, considerate, reliable, logical, hardworking, and loyal. Sometimes MJ can be a bit too reliable and considerate, which makes her unable to take time for herself. She feels responsible for the well-being of others, which puts unnecessary pressure on her. MJ grew up with 2 younger siblings she had to look after all the time. Her parents are at work majority of the time, so she never grew that close to them. MJ basically became her younger sibling's mother. She loves her siblings dearly and will do anything for them. MJ struggles to juggle all her extracurriculars, her job, roller derby, and tending to her siblings, but she manages. Now her siblings are old enough to take care of themselves, but she still feels responsible for them. For MJ's reference sheet, I used the same template and stretched it since MJ is taller than everybody else. I drew a bigger version of the design on her cap so you can draw it. Her cap is also based off an actual hat that I own. And for the background, I made it gray, and then I put a ripped paper border around it. And that's MJ.
My 4th character is my persona Pebble. Even if I allow people to draw my human OCs as furries, I thought it might be nice for a furry artist to have a real furry to draw. I didn't do any reference sheet for this one, so I'm putting the speed paint of my team cards, Artfight cards, whatever it's called. But it's my friend Vinyl who drew them. I only drew my persona once, and it was an oddly concept art so that my friend Vinyl could draw our friend group's personas together. Also, my persona doesn't have a story. They're just a little cutesy, funny, happy kitty.
My fourth OC is Gwendolyn Steele, aka Gwen. Gwen is a sophomore at Visions Academy and is in theater with MJ. Gwen is the drummer for Decrepit Virgins, and I also just realized that Gwen Stacy is also a drummer in Spider-Verse, but that parallel was totally coincidental and an accident. And Gwen is a barista at the Dutch Bros she works at. Gwen is cheerful, friendly, sweet, and thoughtful. Gwen tends to be lazy and procrastinates until the last minute before something's due. She's optimistic, funny, joyful, and energetic as well. She's supportive and will try her best to uplift those around her. Gwen was assigned male at birth and began to transition during middle school. When she came out to her parents, they were surprisingly supportive and got the resources that Gwen would need for her transition. Unfortunately, Gwen was not met with that same support at school. Gwen's peers would bully, harass, and misgender her almost every day. Gwen became insecure because of this. Gwen became less insecure over the years, especially after she met Rose and experienced actual care and understanding from a classmate. Gwen was also born with a cleft lip. With this deformity, she has been made fun of for it most of her life, and transitioning only made the relentless bullying worse. For her reference sheet, we go through the regular motions like I did with all the other reference sheet. I actually forgot to do her color swatches, so her post on Instagram is swatchless. She does have her swatches on her Artfight though, so don't worry. For the background, I put wrinkled pink colored paper and a ripped paper border just like MJ. And that's my precious baby Gwen.
And now my fifth and final character, Aoi. He's a fandom OC again, but this time is in the manga slash anime My Hero Academia. Aoi has two quirks. This means power for people who don't know. Water manipulation and mind reading. Water manipulation is pretty self-explanatory, but if you want an example, think of waterbenders in Avatar The Last Airbender. Mind reading is self-explanatory too, but like, he cannot control it. For example, you cannot not hear people talking around you. Well, Aoi cannot not hear people thinking around him, and that's very exhausting to him. I won't talk about his lore because it's very detailed. You should totally go read it on his Artfight profile. But basically, he spent 1 year in the best heroic high school of France, and then got transferred to UA in Japan because he was tired of being bullied. I didn't make a ref sheet for him either, so I'm putting a speed paint of a drawing I made back in April of him and Bakugo, who he has a complicated relationship with him. You should read on Artfight. I also drew in April still his hero costume for summer and for winter. It's pretty ugly, but at least it's there.
My 5th OC is my precious baby and daughter Juno that I actually gave birth to, even though she's older than me, and that should be impossible. Juno is a Gachiakata OC, and she's Engin's little sister because I said so. She's a cleaner, just like Engine, but is more of a support rather than a tank. She's a Gyaru and the sweetest ever. Juno is kind, outgoing, optimistic, and stylish. Juno is extremely gullible and trustworthy, though, and that has not ended well for her on multiple occasions. It has sent her into spirals, but she always picks herself back up. For Juno's lore, there will be minor spoilers of the Doll Festival arc, the Information Broker arc, in chapter 167 of the Gachiakata manga. I don't know if Clement is caught up, but if he isn't, I apologize in advance. Juno was only a baby/toddler, so she was fortunately never old enough to be introduced to the slave labor she was born into, unlike Engine. Juno, however, was branded with the same tattoos Engine had before he covered them up with the tattoos that he has now. Now Juno is 17 and she prefers to cover those tattoos with her jacket. Juno has an irrational fear of needles due to the tattoos she got as a baby. Her brain may not remember what happened, but her body does. Juno may be afraid of needles, but she ironically has a labret piercing. She only has this piercing because her best friend Styx convinced her to. Styx is my best friend's Gachiakata OC, so here's a picture of her. I would not be disclosing my friend's name for her privacy. During the Information Broker arc, where the cleaners and raiders are having a car race, Juno discovers that Styx, somebody she thought she could trust, was actually a raider. This sent Juno into a state of shock and utter disbelief. Juno never came to terms with this fact, even when she encountered Styx dead at the Doll Festival, which rubbed more salt into the wound. Juno first met Styx when she was performing at a previous Doll Festival, and now here she was, deceased. As of now, Juno is unaware of both the injuries Zanka and Engine sustained. This is all of Juno's lore for now, since a lot of this is from the most recent arc that Aaralyn wrote. Anyway, Juno's vital instrument is an MP3 player that she has dubbed as Miss P3. Juno uses Miss P3 to listen to her own music, but while in combat, she unplugs her headphones from it and plays music that her teammates would vibe with. The music enhances the listener's combat capabilities if they vibe with the music, but if the listener doesn't like the music, then the enhancement doesn't take effect and they keep their current combat abilities. For Juno's reference sheet, I of course drew her from 3 different angles and her thumbnail image. Juno's orange tank top and her shoes are actually things I own as well. They're my favorite clothing and I thought they looked cute on her. Juno also doesn't have a nationality because, to my knowledge, Kay doesn't have any canon countries except maybe the sphere and the ground. So I guess Juno would be a groundlian? I don't know. For the background, I chose a orangish pinkish watercolor paper to match her shirt, and then I put a ripped paper border. And that is my favorite, most amazing, beautiful daughter Juno. My 6th and final OC is Zamira Goldsby. Zamira is also a Gachiakata OC, but she's a raider. She's an older woman and is inspired off of vaqueros and is Hispanic. Zamira is a hardworking, independent, brutally honest, and intense woman. She does not tolerate BS and will reprimand somebody if needed. Zamira means business and is not to be trifled with. Zamira is extremely impulsive and aggressive, so it's best to be careful around her. Zamira's lore includes essay and violence as well, so feel free to skip. When Zamira was in her 20s, she lived a typical life that a person out in the country would live. She had a husband and a daughter named Epona. Yes, I named the daughter after Epona from Ocarina of Time. Also, Ocarina of Time remake coming out this year. Yippee! Okay. One night, Zamira's husband assaulted and killed Epona. Zamira caught him in the act and was utterly horrified and enraged. On a whim, Zamira retrieved her Blackbird revolver and shot her husband point blank. Once Zamira realized what she had done, she took her daughter's limp body and fled the crime scene before the Hellguard could arrive. Zamira saddled up her horse and rode away with her daughter in her arms. In the middle of the desert, Zamira dug a grave for Epona and gave her the most proper burial she could achieve. After this, Zamira became an outlaw and wandered the lands for at least 10 years with her trusty horse. One day, she ran into the raiders. Zamira did not join them immediately, but she did recognize their goal and eventually decided to join their ranks. After joining, Zamira met Styx, who reminded her of Epona. Zamira felt extremely maternal towards Styx. Zamira tries to keep Styx out of trouble, but that is near impossible. This results in Styx receiving scoldings frequently. Zamira truly does care for and love Styx, though. Zamira is still single and does not plan on having another partner. Zamira's vital instrument is a deck of playing cards that her and Epona used to play card games with. Zamira likes to refer to her vital instrument as blackjack. She uses blackjack as throwing cards. She picks a set of cards and based on the number it adds up to, it dictates the precision of her throws. The closer it is to 21, the more precise her throw is. If it is a natural 21, that's the most effective turn she has against an opponent. However, if it's a bust, her aim becomes way off and may cost victory for herself. Fortunately, Zamira rarely gets a bust, so her projectile cards are always on target. Blackjack has a mermaid theme, as homage to Zamira's first design. Zamira was initially a mermaid, so the switch from mermaid to cowboy is actually hilarious. For Zamira's reference sheet, I traced an older sketch of her for her front view, and then for her side view, I actually used Gwen's side view since I was struggling to draw Zamira's. I didn't give her any pride flag at first, but in retrospect, she would be aromantic based off of her lore, so I quickly added that in. For the background, I chose the yellow paper because I thought it would look cool. Zamira is mother, and I love her for that. She's such a baddie.
Well, this is the end of the video, guys. Artfight will start very soon, and we're both very excited to participate. Thank you so much for watching, if you watched until the end. Also, don't forget to write your Artfight username in the comments, and I would love to see your OCs. Have a good Artfight. Bye!
Bye!